It is divisional round weekend in the NFL, and the Saints will play cleanup as they will play the last game of the weekend. They will host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everybody's talking about the matchup at quarterback as Brady and Breeze will meet for the first time in the postseason. Both have been in the league for more than 20 years, and they were both over 40 years old as Breeze will turn 42 on Friday. Booger McFarland is a former Tampa Bay Buc. He lives in the Tampa area. And he was one of the faces and voices of college and NFL football on ESPN. He's with us every Wednesday, compliments of Central Plumbing Company. Happy New Year. Good morning, Book.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Here we are.
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Here we are.
All right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
I know, Boog, you've been waiting for this moment all year long. I called you out weeks ago on it. You were banking on the fact that you would get a third opportunity to try to prove your Bucs are superior to the Saints take. You were desperately hoping that it would arrive in the playoffs. Well, lo and behold, the moment of truth has arrived. How are you feeling knowing that your strategy actually paid off to this point?
Well, it wasn't really a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that this was always going to come to fruition. I think that New Orleans, regardless of the Breeze injury, was one of the best teams in the league. And I continue to tell you, T-Bob, that the Buccaneers, in the end, were going to be one of the better teams. And so, lo and behold, here we are, the trilogy. And I think it's only apropos that Breeze is healthy. Michael Thomas is there. Antonio Brown is back. Mike Evans is back. So both teams seem to be full strength. And I think, excuse me, I think the Bucs, in the end, have the better team.
Leonard looked great. Leonard looked great last time out as he rushed it for over 90 and caught it 4 times. What has been the difference from that? You mentioned Antonio Brown, and he's come on of late. What has made Tampa Bay go from a team that people were shaky on a couple of weeks back to now talking about them in a consistent light?
Well, hell, just winning. I mean, I think they won 4 in a row after losing 2 in a row and then going to a bye. So they've won 4 in a row. Brady's on fire. The offensive line is playing better. I think there's a reason the NFL put this game last. I think this has the potential to be the best game of the weekend. It's indoors. Weather's not going to be a factor. And for me, one of these teams are going to end their season in the same place that they started their season, which is in New Orleans, going against a very, very formidable foe. I think the biggest key for Tampa is Tampa's defense has been underachieving all season. Like, we talked about this defense like it was really good. They haven't really played that to that level, albeit except maybe 1 or 2 games. The Saints defense has really been good. Like, they really played well. Trey Hendrickson has been outstanding. He has played like the best person on that defense, and that's saying something. And I think for the Buccaneers, as T-Bob would say, for my Buccaneers to win this game in New Orleans, their defense is going to have to play at least as good as the Saints defense.
Boog, did you ever have did you ever 2-0 a team in your playing career and then have to meet them again in the playoffs?
I want to say I was 0-2 by the Eagles, and then we wound up beating the Eagles in the playoffs, I think.
Wow. So what kind of was the is there anything unique about the perspective entering that game from either side? Like, do you have any thoughts on what it's like to play a team for a third time in the playoffs that you've already squared up with twice?
Listen, all the things you're going to hear is just cliches and stats. Well, it's tough to beat a team 3 times until it happens. So the bottom line is this, is that from a confidence standpoint, I think where it does play a little bit of a factor is just mentally. Like, right now, the Saints don't feel like the Bucs can beat them. I don't, like, if you were to ask in a private moment, those players in the locker room feel like that there's no way Tampa can beat them. And I guarantee you, somewhere in the Bucs locker room, there's a seed of doubt somewhere that we haven't been able to beat this team. I think where it's going to come into play is the motivation, and where is it going to be if this game, which it should be, like the first game, it should be a tight game going into the second half. And if the ball starts to bounce the way of the Bucs, and now that team gets confidence, it can play a factor. But on the flip side, if the Saints jump out and it's 14-0, then the Bucs are going to be like, here we go again. And so I just think it plays a factor from a mentality standpoint But it doesn't mean that the Saints can't win. It doesn't mean the Bucs can't win.
So when you look at the first two games, and obviously especially the Week 9 route, the Saints' pass rush is what won the day. I mean, what you mentioned it, Trey Hendrickson, what he did to Devontae Smith was unreal. You can't expect that level of dominance again in this game. But how do you feel about that Bucs O-line matching up with Jordan and Hendrickson and Onyemata and the rest of that crew?
Here's what I'll say. I think the Bucs faced the best defensive line in football against the Washington football team. And Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Deron Payne, Allen, those guys didn't sniff that. Now, that's because I think the Bucs heard all week long. How you going to block Chase Young? How you going to block Jonathan Allen? How you going to so everyone was doubting the Bucs, and they came out fired up. Again, motivation. Are they going to be motivated to go against Trey Hendrickson and Jordan and Onyemata and those guys? I hope so, because if they're motivated, the Bucs offensive line is as good as there is in football. If they're not, if Hendrickson and Jordan are in Tristan Wirfs and Smith's head, then guess what? It's going to be the same old thing. So to your point, T-Bob, I think the game can be as bad as the mental toughness of one of the teams. And here's what I mean by that. Who says the Saints can't dominate again? Who says that? All right?
Yeah.
Who says the Bucs can't dominate? Who says that? So, once you get into the postseason, man, it's about mental toughness. It's about the ability to block out all the noise. Yes, I'm tired. My body's hurt. I've taken 19,000 COVID tests this season. I'm tired of having Q-tips up my nose. Who cares? Show up and play, because if I win, I'm one game from the Super Bowl. That's ultimately what it comes down to.
I mean, there you go. That's from a man who has won 2 Super Bowls himself, Booger McFarland at ESPN Booger. Boog, what about what about the matchup in the secondary when the Saints are on defense? I mean, Marshawn Lattimore has been known for shutting down Mike Evans. Does Antonio Brown change those dynamics at all?
So I think we feel pretty good that Lattimore is going to be on Evans in crucial situations. So now, let you and I spitball this out. Who do you put on Godwin?
Okay. I mean, I think it's
Jenkins?
the same things last time. You have they've had Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on Godwin in the slot, and he's done well both games.
Okay, so who now on the outside? Who's going to be on Antonio Brown?
It's going to be Jackrabbit. It's going to be Jackrabbit on AB.
Okay, right. So now my question is this: if you're the Saints, you got to feel pretty good about those 3 matchups. I think the matchup to watch is who's going to cover Gronkowski, who's going to cover Cameron Brate, because you're going to have so much attention devoted to those 3 guys. And if we go 4 wide, do you have anybody that can check the human joystick, Scotty Miller? So I think the ancillary pieces are the pieces that decide this game. Of course, Mike Evans is going to get his target. Godwin's going to get his target. But in crucial situations, here's what I'll tell you. Tom Brady trusts no one more on this team than he trusts Scotty Miller. So don't be surprised in a crucial situation, whoever you have on Scotty Miller gets picked on.
Wow.
Look, real quick off-season question for you. I would propose everybody but Alvin Kamara to the Texans for Deshaun Watson if I'm the Saints. Would you make that deal? How do you get that deal done if you're New Orleans?
Well, hell, who else do you have to offer?
I mean, Mike Thomas?
To me, that would be contradictory. How are you going to trade for the quarterback and then get rid of the number 1 weapon? So I would say Mike Thomas, Alvin Kamara are untouchable. And if you're not putting those guys in, who else are you offering if you're the Saints? Like would you dare throw in
Trey Hendrickson?
Okay, listen. I know.
You said he was the best player on the defense, dude. I'm just using your information.
Rocky was a great movie, but listen, Rocky was fiction.
You think
to your point, is Deshaun Watson worth a straight-up trade for Alvin Kamara? Sure, but nobody's going to make that move. Yeah. If you're the Saints, the best thing you could do is say, okay, I'll give you maybe Cam Jordan, who's on the back end of his career. You can still get 3 or 4 years out of him. I'll give you Cam Jordan 2 and 2 1s for Deshaun Watson. So I'm giving you a player that can play now, and then I'll give you 2 first-round picks later.
Saints or Bucs?
Now you got my attention.
Saints or Bucs? Who you like?
Well, I've gone with them twice, so no need to change. I'm going with the Bucs the third time.
There you go. Third
That's
time's
our
a
guy.
charm.
Boog, hit him straight today and enjoy it. We'll talk next week.
Hey, listen, before I let you go, one last question for you guys. Who the hell are we going to hire as the defensive coordinator? Have we figured that out yet?
About to say, you got any interest in this thing?
There's a little Golding smoke. There's a little smoke around
Ryan Nielsen with the Saints.
Yeah, Charlie Strong, maybe, who's an analyst at Alabama right now. So no, I don't know.
Okay, bottom line, you don't know. And if you're Pete Golding, why would you leave Alabama to take the same position at LSU? I'm just curious.
I don't know if he's going to have the choice to go back to Alabama. Is the
really?
thing. Maybe.
Oh,
maybe. Boog, real quick, can Aaron Donald and can LA go into Green Bay and win this weekend? Do you like that matchup for LA?
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and give you my picks since you didn't ask. I'm going to give them to you.
Yep.
Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, I hate to go against your MVP, Lamar Jackson, but I'm going Buffalo. I'm going the Rams. I'm going Buccaneers. And the last game I'm missing is obviously I'm going the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just lucky, Boog, that Saints Bucs is on the docket, so I couldn't victory lap over you with Lamar Jackson's first playoff win. But we'll save that for next week.
Later, Boog.
Well, hey, listen, next week he'll be out of the playoffs, so we won't be able to
Later, man.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Great
later,
sell
man.
this morning.
Booger is winning. Booger is winning the meta battles, right?
He's winning the wars.
Because he's right. Like, next week, Lamar probably loses. Then all the juice is gone from that. He set up this third game take this entire year. It's a veteran move on all.
We're winning the battles. He's winning the war.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe below. You want more great Saints content? We got it all here on Off the Bench Overtime. Check out these other videos, share with your friends, and let's grow the Who Dat Nation together. Who Dat?